The two beasts of the book of Revelation, chapter 13, identified. Revelation knowledge for you, live and in person. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome to the Gospel Truth Channel. And we are here to bring you some great revelation knowledge. Whoops. Welcome to the people on Twitter and YouTube. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. And I had that planned out so well, it just didn't work the way that I thought maybe it would work. So we are here now to bring you some great revelation knowledge. I think it's going to be powerful. I think it's going to be helpful for you. And we're talking about the book of Revelation, the two beasts of Revelation 13. And we're going to identify those beasts to you so you know exactly who, really exactly what they are. This is really a revelation knowledge for me. This is something that, sometimes it really, it still kind of blows my mind because I have over 100,000 hours of study in the Bible. And I know some of you get all upset and you get out your calculators and your slide rules and you start figuring there's no way you can have 100,000 hours. Well, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I started this when I was 18 years old, and I'll be 55 this year. And I've been doing this full time for at least 30 of my 55 years. I've been doing this full time. And, you know, I used to play a little hockey. Now I go to the gym maybe an hour a day. I go to the beach maybe an hour a day. What else do? I go to the gym. I go to the beach. I do some Tai Chi. I do some Qigong, maybe 3 hours a day. So it's a total of 3 hours a day. And then I sleep 3 hours, 4 hours a day. So that's 7 hours. So that gives me between 17 and 19 hours, sometimes as much as 20 hours, because I don't go to the gym every day. And, you play video games, you watch TV, you have sex with your spouse. I don't do any of those things because I don't have a spouse. And this is what I do. Those other 17, 18, 19, 20 hours of the day, what I'm doing is either studying, meditating, reading, or producing the content that you see on this channel. So do the math yourself. Rent a spouse, says Anton. Yeah, a billionaire told me that if it flies, floats, or fornicates, it's cheaper to rent. I'm just telling you what a billionaire told me. I asked him to give me his best advice in life. He's a billionaire. And I said to him, will you give me your best advice for life in one sentence? If it flies, floats, or fornicates, it's cheaper to rent. That's just what the man told me. I don't know why we brought that up. I blame that on Anton. But yet, in spite of all that study and having read the Bible over 100 times, we get to the place where it still bothers me. No, it doesn't bother me. It surprises me that I'll still see things that I've never seen in the Bible before. And it wasn't Warren Buffett. And that's one of these things that I'm going to show you tonight. I'm going to show you the identity of the two beasts of Revelation chapter 13. And I don't have all the details worked out. I've got the big picture worked out, and we'll work through this together. And some of you aren't going to believe it, and that's okay. Because frankly, I don't really care that much. I'm here to deliver the mail. I'm here to just, bring the message. It's up to you to take it and do what you want with it. Because like Mark Twain said, it's much easier to fool someone than to convince someone that they've been fooled. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. Great show today with Halo about the Mistech bands. Many of you have been buying your Mistech. I put on 2 more. I loaded up a little bit more. I need a little more oomph. I need a little more giddy up and go. So here we go. And we're going to talk about the two beasts of Revelation 13. And I think you're going to be very surprised by what we come up with. So here we go. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, you're not able to see the actual scriptures being broken down because I can't share the video with you. But you can go over to the YouTube channel, Jeff Darty Show, Jeffrey Darty, Christian Whistleblower, put anything like that in there, and it will bring you right up to the YouTube channel. You'll be able to see all of the scriptures up there, all of the visuals. You'll also be able to participate in the chat room, which I got to tell you is never a dull moment. So let's get into the identification of the two beasts of Revelation chapter 13. You know, I would have loved to have gone on that show live with Rex and Robert, but I think, you know, you get Robert on there, and it's all that you can do to just keep going with Robert, because Robert's a fascinating guy. So anyway, I was hoping I'd go on as well. But here we go. Let's look at Revelation chapter 13, shall we? And let's talk about the identification of these two beasts. I think you're going to be really surprised who these beasts are. So first of all, it says, I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast. This is the first beast, obviously. I saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, horns and crowns, name of blasphemy. It was like a leopard. It had feet like a bear, had a mouth like a lion. A dragon gave him power, authority. One of his heads looked like it was wounded to death. The deadly wound was healed. The world wondered after the beast. They worshiped and gave power to the beast, saying, who can make war with this beast? And there was given him a mouth to speak great things and blasphemies. And power was given to him 42 months. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So let's talk about this first beast, the first beast of Revelation. Interesting to note that the first beast, it rose out of the sea. The first beast came up out of the sea. Out of the sea. Let's look at what the word sea means. The sea, in contrast to the land, came up like something like the Red Sea. It also has an idea of universality. It has an idea of the Mediterranean Sea, specifically used of the Mediterranean Sea, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically used of the Mediterranean Sea. So generally speaking, what they're saying here is that it came out of the Mediterranean Sea. And just for a second, let's look at the Mediterranean Sea. Let's just take a look at the Mediterranean Sea. Now, when you look at the Mediterranean Sea here, oh, come on, man. What do you see when you look at the Mediterranean Sea? What geographical feature dominates the Mediterranean Sea? What is in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea? What does the Mediterranean Sea, what is it surrounded by? Well, if you look at it, thank you for the hearts over there on Twitter. Rome, Italy dominates the Mediterranean Sea. All of this around the Mediterranean Sea was the Roman Empire. So when you're talking about a beast rising out of the sea, I mean, look at it. It literally looks as though Rome is rising out of the sea. Italy, Rome, the Roman Empire rising out of the sea. And of course, I buried the lead with that, but I believe that Revelation knowledge is telling me, and you stay with me and see if you agree with me or not, that the beast that came up out of the sea, the first beast, is the empire, and specifically the false religion of Rome. And we have to remember, when we're dealing with the Bible, we're talking about 80% dung, 20% diamond, not all of it written by John, highly tampered with. So we have to read between the lines, and we have to get implications. Now, this beast came up out of the sea, came up out of the Mediterranean Sea. Rome rose up out of the Mediterranean Sea. It had 7 heads. And I just want to show you something which is interesting. How many hills does Rome sit on? Rome sits on 7 hills. Rome sits on 7 hills. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So the beast rose up out of the sea, and it had 7 heads. It had 10 horns, crowns, and upon its heads the names of blasphemy. Now, if we look at the Pope, let's look at the Pope's hat, or the Pope's hat, the Pope's crown. This one right here, I believe it's this one, or maybe this one. It has names of blasphemy written on it. Blasphemous names proclaiming that the Pope is God, the Pope is speaking for God, some even calling praise to Lucifer. So the not only does Rome literally sit on 7 heads, the city of Rome literally came up out of the Mediterranean Sea, which is the original meaning of this word you saw. Rome came out of the Mediterranean Sea. It sits on 7 heads. It has a dude with, 10 crowns, right? Let's see, how many hats of the Pope? How many hats does the Pope have? Wouldn't that be something if he had 10 hats? Well, there's 1 hat, 2 hat, 3 hat, 4 hat. Let's look at different hats. 5 hats, 6 hats, 7 hats. Well, you can use that one. That's 8 hats, 9 hats for that different one. And where's the fish head hat? You can make a case the Pope has 10 hats. 10 different hats. Wow. That's pretty interesting. 7 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns, or 10 hats. They have the names of blasphemy on them. Now, I haven't really got down into the depths of, leopard, bear. Let's look and see exactly what that says in the Greek. So he had his 7 heads. He had diadems, and the Pope actually does wear diadems, which is very interesting. Not crowns, they're diadems. And it was like a leopard. What's a leopard? Does it really mean leopard? A leopard or a panther. It's like a leopard or a panther. It's very fierce. Has a tawny skin. It's marked with black spots. It's very fierce. So there was a fierce, this being was fierce like a leopard. This beast was fierce like a leopard. And the mouth was like a bear. What's the mouth? It's speech. It's eloquence. And look at this, folks. The point of a sword. Do you know what the Roman Empire was built on? Do you know what allowed Rome to conquer the world? The first weapon of mass destruction, the Roman short sword. This was a marvel of military design because all of the other people were using swords that were much longer. And this sword allowed the Roman soldier to get inside the other guys with those big swords and allow them to cut both ways, allow them to stab. And this sword right here allowed the Romans to conquer the world. It was the original weapon of mass destruction. So Rome literally rose on the power of the sword. And right here it says that its mouth, the point of a sword, was like a bear. And what's a bear like? Well, is it a bear? Its sword was like a bear. Well, what's a grizzly do? A grizzly gets there and it rips you and it tears you. Come on. The grizzly rips you and it tears you like a bear. Probably from the word archaeo, which means it is, that doesn't tell us much, does it? But the bear is fierce. The bear is ferocious. So the sword was like a bear. The feet were, and the mouth of it was like a bear, and the feet of it were like the bear. So it was, can you see how the Roman short sword can easily be compared with the bear's claws? It allows you to tear and rip and get inside these other people's range of their sword. So it's very, very much like Rome, no doubt about it. Let's go back into the text. And then the dragon gave Rome its power. Now, if you've listened to me for any length of time, we know who the dragon is. The huge serpent. The dragon, the huge serpent, is the Lord, Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, Jehovah, and he gave his power to the Roman Empire, is my assertion. And this Roman Empire took great authority, controlled the whole earth. They took a throne. Ladies and gentlemen, popes, I bet we can put in Pope's throne. And look what we get. Is the Pope sitting on a throne or not? What do you think? Is the Pope sitting on a throne or not? What do you think? Does the Pope sit on a throne? What do you think? Does the Pope sit on a throne? I would say, in my scientific opinion, that this qualifies as a throne. So you've got him sitting on a throne. You've got him having great authority. You've got him wearing 10 hats. You've got him coming out of the sea. You've got him given power by the dragon, and Roman religion giving power by the Roman legions. Who's able to make war with him? Who can stop this great beast that has risen out of the Mediterranean Sea? Who can stop him? Well, the answer, for as long as Rome was alive, was nobody. Who can make war with him? They had to worship him. And he spoke great things and blasphemies. He spoke against God. Watch this. Verse number 6. Watch this. And he spoke against Theon, not Kairos. Kairos in the New Testament is the Lord, the rat bastard. Theon is the Elohim. He spoke against the Elohim. He blasphemed the Elohim, who very clearly are those that dwell in the heavens. So Rome is all set up against the Elohim. Remember, the Elohim are the gods and goddesses, male and female, that were worshipped all around the Mediterranean. They were worshipped all around the Mediterranean Sea, the Elohim. They were worshipped in all of these countries. All of these countries, I mean, look at Greece. Do you think Greece had some of its own gods and goddesses? Spain, they all had their own gods and goddesses, the Elohim. And Rome marched out and said, convert or die. So they actually made war on the Elohim. They made war on them that dwelt in heaven in perfect, complete fulfillment of this beast. He made war with believers and he overcame them. Rome took over the entire world, over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. That was literally true. Rome ruled the entire world, All the world worshiped him. And look at this. He killed with the sword, and he led into captivity. A perfect description of Rome. I stand here, actually I sit here before you tonight on Friday, February the 2nd at 12:28 a.m. and tell you confidently that the first beast out of the Mediterranean Sea is the nation of Rome, and more specifically, the false Roman religion. Roman Catholicism, if you will, was the beast out of the sea. Let's take a look into the chat room and see what people are saying on this. This should be interesting. You've listened to me, and we'll get to the other beast here as well. Sorry, I'm not muting it, but beast from the sea and beast from the earth, better lighting. Thank you. I just pointed it in a different direction. Let's see. Revelation 12 explanation of those days. That'll be another day. Is this part of the Bible that you consider dung? Well, it's all a mixture, Tiffany. Some of it's diamond, some of it's dung, and it's not conveniently broke down into diamond and dung. It's all mixed together. I think he was joking. I'm not joking at all. I never joke. It's even shaped like a beast. That's a good point. I like that. Shaped like a boot on our heads. Oh, Ms. Space Cake. That is some great insight. Rome is shaped like a boot on our necks. And that's what it's been. That's what it still is, ladies and gentlemen. Even 2,000 years later, it's a boot on our necks. Very, very well stated. And if you look at it, like this almost looks like the head of a dragon, the wings of a dragon. He's flying along. I see what you're talking about. It's shaped like a beast. Very, very interesting. I think absolutely the most educated and smartest chat on YouTube, with apologies to Rex's chat, I still think this one is better. With apologies to Wayne's chat, I still think this one is better. All right. Shoot, my phone died. Seven Hills in DC also, I haven't heard that. Fishhead, that is hat is crazy. The papacy is the Antichrist. You're exactly right, Shannon King. We haven't had that spirit here since 1969. Vatican talking, Hotel California about Vatican II. That's interesting. Jeff Darty, online store. Thank you, Mercury 7. Thank you for appreciating what I do. I can't read what you're saying because it's a weird color. I'm sorry, over there on Twitter. I'm not ignoring you. My toilet would suit him for a throne. Can you imagine what the Pope's toilet looks like? Wow. Dragon and serpent imagery. Always thought the Catholic Church was the beast. It definitely is. R-A-T bastard, rat bastard. I call him a bastard because he was created by Sophia. I bet Scotty Roberts has a Roman short sword. I don't know if he does or not, but Scotty was feeling under the weather today. The first beast is papal Rome. Trying to answer both chats on Twitter and on YouTube. So that's the first beast. The first beast is Roman Catholicism, Imperial Rome. So what about the second beast? Symbology, please, at Jeff Darty. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Okay. Back to Revelation 13. So that's the first beast. The first beast is papal Rome. The Pope is the blasphemous horn that supported the other three. He is the Antichrist. I agree with you. I can't see your name, but over there on Twitter, I agree with you. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, and then there's a beast out of another beast. Now look at this beast. This beast, and I'm going to try not to say who this beast is until we get at the end so you can draw your own inference. This beast, ladies and gentlemen, came up out of the earth. This beast did not come out of the sea. He did not come out of the Mediterranean Sea. This beast came up out of the earth. And obviously this beast, the second beast, came after this first beast. And this first beast is papal Rome. This second beast came after papal Rome. And let's look and see in verse 11 what it says about coming out of the earth. 13:11. And this beast, it rose out of the earth, the soil, the land, the region, the country. It arose out of the inhabitants of the region. So if this beast rose out of the earth, this beast rose out of the earth, and the earth was all controlled by Rome, can we not say that this beast must have needs have arisen from Rome, and likely even from Roman papal religion itself? Because this beast, this second beast, rose out of the earth. It rose out of the earth. It rose out of the already existing system and the already dominant system. So this beast, this second beast, it rose out of Roman Catholicism. And watch this, ladies and gentlemen. One of the heads of this beast was wounded to death. Speaking of beasts, this one wanted to come and say hi. This is not the beast out of the sea. This is not the beast out of the earth. This is the beast that loves the meaties. This is the meaty beast right here. This is Rooney Tooney. He is the mascot of NCK, of the Jeff Daugherty Show, and Rooney is probably the star of the show, if the truth be told. Isn't that right, Mr. Pussy Kitten? What do you think about the two beasts? Do you have any insight to add to this great audience? Or are you just going to sit there and look cute? Nothing to say for yourself? Okay. Now try to keep your mouth quiet for the rest of the show. All right, so if I don't let him on the show, he'll just keep yelling. So getting back to where we were, one of the heads of this Roman papal religion was wounded to death. It was wounded to death. Allow me, if you would, to just throw something out there for you. A little thing called the Protestant Reformation. The Protestant Reformation happened in the 16th and 17th centuries. Martin Luther, John Wycliffe, you know all the names. Couldn't it be said that one of the heads of the Roman religion was wounded to death by the Protestant Reformation? Couldn't it be said that Roman religion, if you look at Roman religion as having two heads, one of those heads left. There's about 1 billion Catholics. There's 1 billion Roman Catholics. There's 1 billion Roman Protestants. So literally, one of the two heads was wounded to death. One of the two heads fled Rome. So this first beast literally lost one of his two heads with the Protestant Reformation. He literally lost one of his two heads with the Protestant Reformation. But watch this. But the deadly wound was actually healed in time. Watch this. This second beast, the one that broke out of the first beast, this head that looked like it was wounded to death, it came out looking like a lamb. A nice lamb, a little Jesus-y, woolly, fleecy little lamb. Power to the people. Respect for people. Respect for the actual scriptures and not the dictates of a man in a dress sitting on a golden throne. But yet it didn't take much time until the one that started out like a lamb started speaking just like the dragon. And it didn't take long until the one that started like a lamb started acting just like the first beast before him. And it wasn't long before they were doing the same worship of the first beast. And if you look at this, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. One of his heads was wounded to death. When the second beast came up out of the earth, when Roman Protestantism came up out of the earth, when the Protestant Reformation came up out of the earth, it looked like, oh no, we've lost half our people. But yet, guess what? That deadly wound was healed. How was that deadly wound healed? Well, don't take Jeff Darty's explanation for it. The deadly wound was healed because the one that started like a lamb ended up speaking like a dragon. The one that started like a lamb ended up doing the exact same things, exercising the power of the beast before him. He started out like a lamb, and he actually started leading people back to the same worship of the first beast. So Roman Catholicism looked like it had one of its heads wounded to death, and there's 1 billion Catholics, there's 1 billion Protestants. That means before that there was 2 billion Catholics. 1 billion of them defected to Protestantism. It looked like one of the heads was wounded to death. But when that one that started out like a lamb, we're different. We're new. It was, what does Rex say? Welcome to the new boss, same as the old boss. New Lord, same as the old Lord. Started out like a lamb. Started speaking just like the dragon. Started exercising all the same things that the first dragon did. Started leading the earth back to the worship of the same dragon. And what did that happen? What was the result? The deadly wound was healed. Down comes the confetti. That's what you call some straight up kick-ass Bible interpretation. That's what you call picking it up and laying it down, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm the Christian whistleblower. That's why you listen. Wow. And what does he do? He does great wonders. This second beast, who sold out to the first beast again, and we're going to talk about that, he does great wonders. Makes fire come down from earth in the sight of men. What does that remind you of? Well, isn't the Pentecostal movement talking about tongues of fire coming down? The Pentecostal movement within Protestant Christianity. And what is the Pentecostal movement characterized by? Miracles. Miracles. And through their own, I mean, look at today. Look at L.A. Marzulli. Look at Scott Clark. And look at the whole eschatology school of thought. What are they doing? They're preaching the very doctrine that the Catholic Church invented to combat the Protestant Reformation. I've shown you this 100 times. Let's just make it 101 times. Francisco Ribera Spanish theologian, the future Christian eschatological view. He created eschatology. Why did he create eschatology? Because the Reformation was stating that the papacy is a true and real Antichrist. Do you see what was going on? The first beast, the head of the first beast, was wounded by the Protestant Reformation. But then what did they do? They brought out the Counter-Reformation with Francisco Ribera, and before long, the very Protestants that were combating the Roman Church are now speaking the same thing that the Roman Church brought out to fight the Protestant Reformation, the killing of their head. The Protestant reformers, L.A. Marzulli, Scott Clark, all the rest of them, they are preaching the same words of the first beast. They are causing people to worship the first beast. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? Eschatology, and by that I mean the Antichrist is coming. Francisco Ribera taught that. It's Roman Catholic. It's the doctrine of the first beast. I'm going to do another video, the doctrine of the first beast. Antichrist in the future. Tribulation in the future. Temple rebuilt in the future. Rapture. Mark of the beast in the future. Chopping off heads in the future. Second coming of Christ in the future. All of that. Antichrist coming in the future. All of that is the message of the first beast. Every single thing that I just mentioned was invented and created by the Jesuit scholar Francisco Ribera in what was called the Counter-Reformation movement. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this stuff up. And where's my mute button? I'm sorry. All of this stuff is Roman doctrine. It's the doctrine of the first beast. And somebody who lives in LA, I don't think I can make it to LA Marzulli's. I think his press conference is today. Let's look that up real quick. LA Marzulli press conference. LA Marzulli press conference on February the 2nd. It's going to be at the Marriott, 5885 West Century Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. Marriott, LA Airport, Century Boulevard, LA, California. He's going to have a press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I'm sharing this with you. Let me share this with you. What? Look at this. He's having a press conference allegedly about elongated skulls. This is L.A. Marzulli. It's going to be today, February 2nd, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Marriott at Los Angeles Airport, 5885 West Century Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90045. Ladies and gentlemen, if any of you are in Los Angeles, if you will go to the Los Angeles Airport Marriott between 1 and 5 p.m., and if you will send me video footage, I can't go. If I'd have known he was going to do this earlier, I would have gone myself. If you will go there to that press conference, and if you will send me video of you asking L.A. Marzulli why, ask him two questions. Why do you consistent. Why? How do we say this? Mr. Marzulli, why are you preaching Jesuit doctrine? And Mr. Marzulli, why won't you debate Jeffrey Daugherty? If you will send me video of you asking L.A. Marzulli both those questions, or trying at least to ask both those questions, getting his attention, having him focus on you. It doesn't have to be during the press conference. You can walk up to him. Mr. Marzulli, why are you preaching Jesuit doctrine, and why won't you debate Jeffrey Daugherty? If you will send me video of that, I'll send you your choice. I'll send you a free Mistech band of your choice. These are $60, right? Isn't that what the let's see, let me see what the silver lightnings are worth. I'm going to share this with you. So here's all the products. You know what? If you will ask both those questions of L.A. Marzulli, I'll send you the $75 silver lightning silicon band for free if you ask L.A. Marzulli that question. In fact, I'll send you any bracelet up to $100 free of charge. If you will go to L.A. Marzulli's press conference, and if you will get me video of you asking L.A. Marzulli, why do you teach Jesuit doctrine, and why won't you debate Jeffrey Daugherty? And if you don't want the bands, I might send you the money. But if you'll do that, Los Angeles Airport, 5885 West Century Boulevard, LA, California, admissions free today between 1 and 5 p.m. If you will go and ask L.A. Marzulli and have video of it, take your cell phone. And this goes for you on Twitter as well and on Facebook. If you will go and ask L.A. Marzulli, Mr. Marzulli, why are you teaching Jesuit doctrine, and why won't you debate Jeffrey Daugherty? A free Mistech band up to $100, or if you want to get a couple of them for your family, we'll say up to $100 in value. Or if you get both questions out to him, I'll send you 2 of the silver lightning bands for free. That's $120 value now, or $150 value, but you know what I'm talking about. So if you'll do that, I will do that for you. Oh, I just hope somebody does that. I really do. But let's go back to our scripture here. 5885 West Century Boulevard, LA, California, the Marriott, admissions free Friday. Oh shoot, that's today. Yeah, Friday from 1 to 5 p.m. It's a press conference. What do you do at press conferences? You ask questions. Mr. Marzulli, please be polite, at least the first time. Mr. Marzulli, why are you teaching Jesuit doctrine? And be ready to say everything you teach about eschatology was created by a Jesuit. Why do you teach Jesuit doctrine? Why won't you debate Jeffrey Daugherty? And then if you need to, start shouting it out after that, and they might ask you to leave. So you're not going to get arrested, but they might ask you to leave. But, oh, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, back to our scriptures. Because he is, by teaching the Jesuit doctrine that he's teaching, he is exercising the power of the first beast. He's causing people to worship the first beast. And even the wonders and the great things he does, he's doing it in the power of that first beast. He's giving life to that first beast. And ladies and gentlemen, the real explanation of this image of the beast, I believe, is the crucifix. And I want to show you something here, ladies and gentlemen. The crucifix You know what a crucifix looks like. Here's a crucifix, right? But there's something new coming. I call it the crossifix. See, look at the crucifix. Jesus, plastic Jesus, soylent Jesus, he's nailed to it, right? But they got a new thing coming because the Protestants and the Catholics are getting back together. Look, here's the new thing. The crossifix. Because you see, Jesus, he's not nailed to the crucifix anymore. This is something that the Catholics can get behind. This is something the Protestants can get behind. I don't know what little interior baby Jesus is. But you've got these crucifix things that are creeping up now. He's not nailed to the cross anymore because he's it's the crucifix. And I said one of my first times on Coast to Coast AM that you were going to see the rise of the crucifix, which is just Jesus floating over the crucifix, not nailed to it anymore. But ladies and gentlemen, guess what else you're going to see? And you will see this sooner rather than later. You will see a Jesus come down off of a crucifix and speak. You're going to see a Jesus come to life, probably in the Vatican, off of a cross like this, a crucifix, and you're going to see him come to life and speak. You're going to see him come to life and speak. Ladies and gentlemen, the first beast of Revelation is Roman Catholicism. The first beast of Revelation 13 is Roman Catholicism. The second beast of Revelation 13 is Roman Protestantism. I think we've proven it to you beyond the shadow of any doubt with this short presentation here tonight. And I hope I don't lose you on Twitter and Facebook because my power was running down. But let's go back and see if we can answer these questions here. Let me see if I can answer these questions here. Anyone in Los Angeles? Boy, I sure hope so. That would be so great. What else we got here? Challenge accepted. Don't fly there. You don't want to fly there, just if you're there. I hope somebody's there and we'll do it. Oh, man, I would love that. That would just make my day. L.A. Marzulli is going to get question bombed. Wouldn't that just be amazing? If you're in L.A., please, I'll be your best friend. I will be your best friend. It has to be tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is when he's having his press conference. So it has to be tomorrow. Just don't scream, don't tase me, bro. Oh, that's so hilarious. Please, if you're there, go do it. Go do it. Jeff Ledger said, blow me, because I called out his date setting after a bit of stirring. He admittedly said he's on the other team. Just saying. He said, blow me. That's hilarious, Colin. Oh, you and I live in the GTA, though. I hope somebody's in LA. I really do hope somebody's in LA. That would be so amazing. He will not take questions, Jeff. No, it's a press conference. And he's got to walk in and out of the place. Just go up to him with your iPhone, have somebody hold it, and say, hey, why are you teaching Jesuit doctrine, and why won't you debate Jeff Daugherty? That's it, man. That's all you got to do. He watched Jeff's videos, and he said, F that. It is a press conference. Boy, I sure hope that one of you can do that. But that's it. I think we've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that the first beast of Revelation 13 is the Roman Catholic Church, and the second beast of Revelation 13 is the Roman Protestant Church. Ladies and gentlemen, you can have pretty much anything you want from me. If you go to that thing tomorrow and send me a video of you asking L.A. Marzulli those questions, oh, that would be so freaking classic. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, pardon me, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. I'm here to help you unindoctrinate yourself, guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, stir up a little trouble every now and then, ask questions, question answers, and encouraging you to stay fearless, my friends. And LA, he didn't used to go by LA. I don't know what the LA stands for. But I know that I'm here to help you unindoctrinate yourself.